CBN Israel and Regent University are taking a unique approach to help Israelis traumatized by the ongoing war. It involves training Russian-speaking counselors in Israel. The key is using trauma therapy techniques learned in Ukraine's war with Russia. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has more on this wonderful work.
After the October 7th massacre and ensuing war, Regent University involved its International Institute of Postgraduate Education in Ukraine to train Russian-speaking counselors in Israel. Together with CBN Israel and the Israel Trauma Coalition, they came up with a plan.
We've been feeling so connected to Israeli people in our suffering and your suffering, because it's very similar to what we experienced as a nation when we experienced barbarian attack on our democracy, on our freedom in the middle of the 21st century.
Here at the Maccabiah village, Jewish athletes from around the world come to train and compete in the Jewish Olympics. This week, dozens of Russian-speaking therapists have come for a different kind of training.
I'm faculty at Regent University and brought two colleagues with me from Ukraine who are trained to educate psychologists in immediate stabilization procedure, compassion fatigue, stress management.
Dr. Olya Zaporozhets says trauma from war is ongoing, and the Ukrainian professionals have current experience that's valuable in the Israeli situation.
We came to talk about how to help people going through stressful events, whether that's bombings or soldiers in a trench. That is, both civilian and military.
Psychologist Katerina Krylova says Israelis were eager to learn.
They've been gracious to us, and we appreciate it. Also, Regent University made this happen. Because of the war in Ukraine, they first came to teach us, and now we are able to come to Israel and share here.
Psychologist Ludmila Horodianko, who works with both Ukrainian children and adults, shared skills intended to quickly calm trauma victims.
By using these techniques, a victim can be stabilized in just 20 minutes.
They also covered compassion fatigue, burnout from listening to the psychological trauma of others. Max Goldenberg heads the Israel Trauma Coalition, a leading agency addressing trauma among Israelis in both the southern and northern parts of the country. Goldenberg says 1.5 million people here feel the impact of the Iron Swords War, either because they lost family members or share connections with the hostages.
What we need right now is practical tools that can be implemented immediately tomorrow during their work with their patients, with the families and individuals that they support.
The Russian-speaking counselors immigrated to Israel decades ago. Some are helping those who fled the war in Ukraine, as well as Holocaust survivors, soldiers, and others. They credit the immediate stabilization procedure developed in Israel by psychiatrist Gary Quinn as their most valuable tool. It involves tapping one's own arms or shoulders or the table while focusing on the fact that they are safe now and not still in the traumatic situation. At the beginning of the Ukraine war, Quinn volunteered to first help therapists there, then train them to use the procedure.
All of the therapists themselves were at a very high level of stress because of the war and had to do the ISP first to calm them down.
During that time, he cites an incredible collaboration with Zaporozhets, Regent University, and CBN to modify and adjust the method.
The product came back in better condition, much more streamlined and much more effective and efficient in helping people.
The Israeli counselors felt enriched by what they learned.
It's really an excellent tool, and I'll use it a lot. It's not a treatment. It brings a person back to the place where he can function.
Zaporozhets says she's taking Israeli resilience back to Ukraine, as illustrated by the humorous saying Jewish people have about their celebrations and feast days.
Yeah, they were trying to kill us. We survived. Let's eat. It's great. I'm taking it home.
She believes the key is a love for country and fighting for the future to leave a better legacy for your children. Julie Stahl, CBN News, KFAR MACCABIAH, Israel.
Trauma care is an overwhelming need in Israel right now, and CBN Israel is stepping up in order to fill that need. We're working with the Trauma Coalition. We're working with Regent University. We're taking all of the experience that that team had in Ukraine and putting it into very real practice in Israel. 25% of the population of Israel is Russian-speaking, and so when you can train Russian-speaking trauma counselors, you're hitting 25% of that affected group, but we want to hit all 100%. So we're working with the Trauma Coalition, going to do even more on trauma counseling, both in Hebrew, in English, and in Russian, so that we can hit every single population group there. It's a traumatized society as a result of October 7th, April 13th, and the current situation is absolutely horrific, where they're saying this is our last normal day. We're going to be looking at a threat from Iran, from Hezbollah, and when exactly is that going to happen? It's traumatizing the entire nation. So we want to be there for them. We want to do it in your name. If you want to contribute, it's real simple. Call us, 1-800-700-7000. Say, I want to give to CBN Israel. We have a designated fund. You can write to us at CBN Center, Virginia Beach, Virginia, 23463. Just put CBN Israel on the memo line of a check. You can also go to cbn.com. There's a place on the donation page where you can designate your gift to Israel. You can also text CBN Israel to 71777. If you're interested in learning more about trauma counseling, we have a wonderful place at Regent University. The School of Counseling, Psychology is there. If you want to apply so that you can be trained in trauma care, just go to regent.edu and you can find out how you can apply. And for everyone concerned about Israel, here is the psalm that is being said in Israel. It's part of the Great Hallel, which is said at every single major festival, and it's particularly for the Seder service, the Passover. So this would have been the final psalm that Jesus and his disciples said at the Last Supper. But it really applies to today and what is going on in Israel, the threats against her. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. All nations surrounded me, but in the name of the Lord I will destroy them. They surrounded me. Yes, they surrounded me, but in the name of the Lord I will destroy them. They surrounded me like bees. They were quenched like a fire of thorns, for in the name of the Lord I will destroy them. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Let the Psalms bring comfort to you and comfort that, yes, he who watches over Jerusalem, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't slumber. He will watch over his people. He will watch over his word to perform it. We saw it on April 13th. We are going to see it again. Let these words from the Bible comfort you.